we have, for the first time in a long time, a Webcomics Hubcast. Welcome to season 2, everyone. Season 2. It's me and you, and it's season 2, and I'm living for it. I'm living for it right now. I'm living for it right now. Welcome to season 2 of the Webcomics Hubcast, everybody. I'm sorry that there's no little dingy. I think I have a little ding. I have a little audio stinger for starting today. I'm very, very like lackluster, very chill today for some reason. But welcome to season 2, everybody. Welcome to season 2 of the Webcomics Hubcast. My name is Nen, your godly host of greatness. I thought I had a better alliteration than that. And today I'm supposed to be joined by my co-host, but she's not here. So it's just me. This won't always be normal. Don't get used to it. Don't get used to it. So today I want us to talk a little bit about the Webtoon Call to Action contest, which is in 3 weeks. I know, wildly. It's only like 3 weeks left till that stupid fucking thing happens. If you don't know me, I make a lot of pointless hot takes. Don't think too hard about them. But yeah, it's only like 3 weeks until that stupid fucking thing happens. And one of the things I've noticed, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, is that almost everyone is exclusively gunning for 4th place. Everyone is gunning for 4th place. You just started working on it? Oh, you poor fucking soul. You poor soul. I need to swear less. I have a little swear. I need to make my swear tip jar again. Every time I swear, somebody needs to type !swear, or I think that's the code. That way I remember to like put money into my tip jar. I usually donate my tip jar of swear words to a random creator, usually someone I don't know. Or I think it's swear or no swear, one of the two. It's on Twitch only though. Wait, I think it's swear, it's !swear, no swear. Anyway, every time you swear, I will complain to Beta. Anyway, so you know, I've been checking out the Webtoon Call to Action contest. Hello, Leo Suarez, and I found it very interesting. Everyone seems to be gunning for 4th to 10th place because that's the money place. That's the money spot, and I think that's very funny. It's very funny to me that nobody, because if you didn't know this, there are 10 spots to win the contest. 1st to 3rd, the only way you can get the money, you need to sign the contract with them. Yeah, like the 50K looking kind of peng though, but like if you want the 50K, you need to sign the contract with them, because I think the last contest people like somebody didn't sign the contract, just took the money and ran. And I think that's very funny. So yeah, if you win 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you need to sign a contract with them to get the money and any of the prizes. So that's the money, the Clip Studio license, and anything else they were going to offer you, right? It's such a Chad move from Webtoon. So like everyone I've seen online has been like, nah, dude, nah, I'm not going to fall for this. I'm going to aim exclusively. I'm going to aim exclusively for 4th place, 4th to 10th. And you know what? I respect the hustle, right? Write a fake story so you can sell it to them. No, you can't do that. That's not allowed. No, you've got to straight up actually give them what you've written for the contest. If you've not read it, it's in the terms of service. But what it literally says, I have it right here, is in the contest prizes section in the FAQ, and it goes, the contest prizes are as follows. In fact, let's get a screen share going. Let's get a screen share going here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I found out the other day when looking through my YouTube analytics that most people who watch my YouTube channel, whenever I actually bother to do my YouTube videos, are women. So what's up, ladies, priority, and the extras, whoever the hell you are. Let's read together. Just getting that on the screen for y'all. It should hopefully be clear enough. So if you can see that, if you guys can see that screen, it basically says contest prizes are as follows: 10 honorable mentions, 10 honorable mention winners. Each person will get Clip Studio Paint license for 12 months and with a value of $71. Then there will be 7 finalist prize winners. The finalist prize winners will receive $5,000 and Clip Studio Paint X dual device license. And then there will be 1 third place winner, 1 second place winner, and 1 grand prize winner. And if you notice the wording right at the bottom here, at the bottom just above where I say short update, third place, second place, and grand prize winners can only claim the prize money, the Clip Studio X paint licenses. Let me just, let's get a little zoom on a little bit closer. Can only claim the prize money, right? If they accept the original series contract offer. Which I love. I love that they've done this. I love that they've done this because it's in a way showing their hand. Because like Webtoon is basically fully gone. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed. I mean, it'll be hard not to. Webtoon has been pumping out series basically weekly. I think there was 1 week where there was like 8 new releases, 10 new releases. And I get it. I get it. Like at the end of the day, people are coming there for new content, and you will be surprised the amount of webtoons that are like on a permanent hiatus, on a temporary hiatus, or like dead. And I mean like featured webtoons, not even like I don't say this very often, but fuck Canvas. Ignoring Canvas, just featured comics. I call them featured, but they're called originals now. Just originals comics. Most of them, if you've not noticed, are like a good like half of them are just like not ongoing. Yeah, so like there's new content basically dropping every week, and it makes a lot of sense that like they don't want to give out another $50,000, $20,000, $30,000 to some guy from Sweden or whatever who's gonna take the money and just like poof. And like while they did, I know for some people who remember the last contest, they're gonna remember that they had this exact same dialogue in the old 2018 contest, but they, 1, didn't actually enforce it, and 2, didn't actually enforce it. Oh, did I swear again? Oh, damn. What are we at now? We're at 40p. It's 20p every time I swear. So we're at 40p. And it's no swear. It's not swear. It's exclamation mark, no swear. But yeah, they had this in the last contest, but they didn't enforce it. And I know that for a fact because in the last contest, at least one person I know won and then just left. They took, and I don't mean the short story one. I mean like I think was it the short story one in 2018? I believe no, that was 2019 or something. The one in the contest in 2018. I don't remember which specific one it was, but I know at least one person won and just kind of fled with their cash. Just kind of walked away. Yeah, the one who won the second lead syndrome thing, that's actually a really good point to point out as well. Just took their money and left. Good for them. I don't know if we're talking about the same person. I might be. Like this is from a DM. Like I'm talking about a DM I received talking to them like almost 3-4 years ago. Like forgive me if it's a little inaccurate because about who exactly it is. But like yeah, like so right now Webtoon just like, look, I gotta enforce this. I gotta keep the content going. And for a lot of regular readers, they're feeling a little bit drowned, and I get it. But this contest is Webtoon basically saying like, look, there are more markets for me to get into. There are more markets for me to like attack, and I need to attack them like appropriately. If you haven't noticed, there aren't a lot of good action Webtoons. Like, I love everyone working on action webtoons. I think everyone is doing a really good job right now. I think everyone is producing some real interesting content right now, at least to the best of their abilities. And I'm not here to like badmouth anyone's work. Trust me, if I wanted to badmouth someone's work, I just do it. But like right now, there aren't a lot of like big, meaningful action webtoons going on right now. I know there's like, you know, the new webtoon, The Wildlands, by my friend Bobler, who I did a little action workshop with the other day. You know, I'm gonna pimp out my buddy because he's my buddy. But like, you know, all in all, there's not much going on. So like Webtoon is kind of just trying to pad out more and more, especially since any of their action-based stuff or action-adjacent stuff has completed itself or just isn't catching on very well. Someone said they should focus more on turning the popular series animated series instead of waiting for Netflix to pick it up. Oh, that's a whole other topic. I don't even want to. I have so much to say about that one. So yeah, Webtoons kind of, you know, really focusing on who they're kind of giving their money to because they really want to foster that action environment. They really want to take the audience that a lot of traditional comics get to have. That's what they're aiming for, really. Like, I thought about it. I talked to one of my friends who works in trad comics. I talked to a few of them that work in trad comics, and they basically came down to me and told me it sounds like they're trying to like tap into a lot of trad comics' biggest market. Because a lot of traditional Western comics produce mostly action based content, pretty high action based content as well. And it sounds like that's what they're aiming for. They've got the young adult, they've got the young female audience. Now they're aiming for the young male to adult male audience, who have always been like a relatively lower amount of people on Webtoon. You can see that in their investor reports. You can see that in their marketing material that they show to other companies. So like, you know, it's a known thing, and it seems like that's what they're trying to get more of, that audience, to kind of give them more money. Anyway, so given we know what they're looking for, it kind of makes a lot of sense what the judging criteria are on. Normally, Webtoon judging criteria, as far back as I can remember, has prioritized art over like everything else. And this time it almost seems like they didn't until you actually like read what they're asking for. And it just seems like there's 30 points into writing adjacent or writing based things. You know, they care about your action choreography, which is in your writing. They care about your actual story, obviously. They care about a lot of other character moments. Like, all those things are all writing adjacent, and then they just have like a straight 30 points exclusively in art. But these three other things have 10 points each in, and they're only going to be decent if your writing is decent, right? And I think that that's like an interesting angle that they're choosing to take, because it's them. It feels like it's them saying that, you know, typically we get really good looking work that just doesn't last very long because it doesn't have the story staying power to last very long, you know? And I think that makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. What did Bobler say? Issue is that action comics require a lot of work and skill, and not many amateur artists have the skill set to pull them off. Yeah, you're right. And I think Webtoon knows that. I think 100% Webtoon knows that. They know that, and they don't give a shit. And I don't blame them why they don't give a shit. Oh, I just swore twice. Again, that's 60p. No, let's call that 80p. It's 80p in the pot. But yeah, they don't give a shit. They're that's a pound. That's a pound in the pot. They don't care because their priority, their focus right now is that they're really trying to draw out talented artists. They like, the short story contest was, hey, Webtoon creators, I want to find one of you who is good, right? This time, Webtoon's entire thing is, Webtoon's entire thing is, I don't care who's good anymore in this goddamn pool of canvas creators. I don't care. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to poach a good creator from somewhere. If it's in Canvas, great. If it's not in Canvas, great. I don't care. And that sounds like what they're trying to do. They're trying to find a high effort group, more likely a group than a person, quite honestly, because there's nothing against a group entering. There's nothing against a group entering. And frankly, you should, if you know you can work with someone else on this, or at least a team of 2 or 3, it might be worth entering as a group, right? But like, they're basically trying to enter as like, hey, look, I'm looking for a group or a really, really, really talented artist, and I want that person to create all of my main. I want a person to create one of my biggest action things going. I want it to be in English. I want it to already appeal to the English market. I want it to have like the vibe of coming from the English market, right? Because like the current biggest webtoons that are action based are all Korean, and that's nice and all. You know, it's nice that they're Korean. It's good to import your own comics as you already own the IP, but they actually cost a lot of time in translation and like localization, and it's just. They don't that's so much work. From the people I know who work in localization, it is not only so much work, a lot of them don't even like picking up webcomic a lot of their companies don't like picking up webcomic contracts because the pay is just rock bottom. So like, it's a lot of work. It costs a lot more money than you think it does, because it's not, again, localization isn't just translation. It's translation and total rewording of the entire comic. Basically, your localizer is a writer. They're writing the entire comic again. Just, you know, they get to choose the names and everything else. They're just trying to keep as close to the original story as possible and the original vibes while literally rewriting everything, right? You're basically hiring a new writer, and that's very expensive. So I think that's really why Webtoon's pushing this. They're no longer like they're too stressed out to care anymore about their individual, like about the smaller canvas creator, because they're just like, you guys are cool. I don't like hate you or anything, but like, you're not providing me the thing I need right now. Or maybe you can, but I don't. But I haven't. You don't have the right motivation. You don't have the right motivation to give me what I need right now. And as such, you know, because of that, they've got themselves kind of just going basically open forum. Anyone can join. Anyone come in here. I'm going to drop as much money as I possibly can to get what I want from one of you somewhere. Yeah, that's kind of where I got to when I went through thinking about the entire Webtoon contest. And I think what it interested me a lot, and why I wanted to talk about that today and comic creator success a little bit, is like Webtoon. Okay, I guess there's like 2 things. One, actually, before I go into this, one last thing. Medibank is also having a contest right now. If you care, you don't have to do the Webtoon contest. There's a Medibank contest going on right now. Like right now. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The reason I brought up Webtoon, I want to also talk about success today, is like, I feel like a lot of the younger creators I've spoken to and I've seen and I've read their tweets on the Twitter, which if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at webcomics_hub on Twitter. But a lot of the young people I've been checking out on Twitter and reading their thoughts and stuff, a lot of them seem to think of this like featured offer as like end game. They think of the featured offer as end game, you know? And when you're a small creator, yeah, the moment you see like a potential contract coming up, a potential like, you know, regular revenue coming up, that feels like end game, doesn't it? You know, I don't know. I don't know if we've all thought about this. I think we've all been there at some point. If you're an experienced creator, I know most of my viewers are right now. But we've all been there for at least a little bit, where it's like, yeah, the steady contract, that's end game. You know, and for a lot of us, that's like been the path that we've been following. We've just been kind of going down this road of like, yeah, we gotta aim for end game. We gotta hit end game. We gotta hit end game. We gotta get to end game, and end game is featured comic, right? And I think one of the reasons why I'm a little bit worried about it is because like I feel like that's an unhealthy thing to think. I mean, and I'm sure you've probably heard a million people say this to you, but like, Webtoon featured is not endgame, like at all. Like Webtoon featured isn't even close to endgame. It's not even that good. If you don't know what they pay from a lot of different sources. They pay about 12 to 1500 a month. Like there's a whole process to getting like the rest of your money, and you still have to pretty much sell yourself like a lot. Like especially now with them pumping out as many series as they're currently pumping out, a lot of creators now who are featured have to sell themselves. Like here's like a really easy a really easy person that's complaining about just that, and I'm just gonna, we're gonna do a little display today, class. Complaining about just that. It's Chris Nguyen, the creator of Cape of Spirits. And I'm just gonna put that up there because the tweet's still public, so I can still say that. But that's a feature creator right there. Basically complaining about Webtoon throwing a lot of darts, which is the thing that we're talking about, them putting out as many series as they are, and leaving the feature creators, the people that they've contracted, the people that they've made to feel a sense of security, feel a little bit, kind of leave them a bit to be in charge of themselves almost entirely. leave them to be in charge of like their own marketing, a little bit of their own marketing, a little bit of their own, a little bit of how they sell themselves to their audience entirely. And I can see why they're upset. I'm gonna say this though, like the reason why they pay as much money as they do, and the reason, actually, I'm not gonna get into the money thing too much. The thing I'm just getting here is just like the current landscape of webcomics and basically online content is a big space of unsustainable monetary gain. As in, all these people are making money, but they can only make money by essentially having an infinite amount of comics coming up and going onto the front page. Like that's how they can, that's the only way any of them can make any money, right? That's the only way any of these platforms can make any money. And because of that, they're going to inevitably like leave you, the creator that they've contracted with, a little bit high and dry. Depending on who you are, they might leave you high and dry like the creator of Luff, or they might leave you high and dry like the creator of, they might not leave you high and dry at all, like the creator of Unordinary, right? It's kind of a toss-up. Hey, Archangel, yeah, season two. I've been saying season 2 over and over again today. Sorry, I'm just laughing at season 2. But yeah, depending on who you are, they might leave you somewhat high and dry. And that's because, and I think a really good way of thinking about your relationship with these bigger companies, even when they're offering you a contract that basically seems to be like, hey, you there, free money, right? A good way to think about it is like, this person, I want you to think every time somebody offers you a contract from now on, for the rest of your life, it doesn't matter who, right? I want you to think about this. This person is, I want you to think this exact same line of thinking. And it's relevant because it's how you're going to stop seeing places like Webtoon as endgame and contracts that seem to offer you the moon as, you're going to stop seeing them as amazing as they are in your head. You're going to start seeing them as realistically what they are. And the thing is this, the person offering you a contract is not only not your friend, right? He's not only not your friend, they are actively your enemy. They do not like you. They do not like you. They like what you can give them. They like what you can offer them. You, at the moment in time in which they are trying to give you a contract, at the moment in time in which they're trying to make a deal with you, you have for them something that they want, right? Something they want. And because of that, they're willing to tolerate your bullshit. They're willing to tolerate the way you talk, the way you look, whatever it is they don't like about you. They're willing to tolerate it to get the thing they want. The moment their objectives change, or you annoy them slightly too much, all of the contract shit, all of the nice person shit, they're going to bury that in the ground. They're going to light a fire on top of it, and then they're going to fucking forget about you. They're gonna that's genuinely true, right? Doesn't matter what contract you're getting and from who you're getting it. That's like the way to think about it. Otherwise, this is otherwise, like, every time you see these platforms with their fucking contests and their whatever, you're gonna think that it's endgame. Your endgame as a creator isn't that. At least in my opinion. No creator's endgame is working internally for some fucking platform until the day you expire. Like that just ain't it, you know? That's not your end game as a creator. As a creative individual, your end game is something, anything else. I'm begging you. Like, you can make your end game what Rupert Grint from Harry Potter made his end game, and just sell ice cream in a van. But your end game cannot be Webtoon. I say this as a Webtoon influencer. Like, that could not be your end game, Chief. That's the wrong Twitter account in chat. Damn. Anyway, that cannot be your end game, Chief. You know? You deserve way more than that. You deserve so much more than that. Now, I will admit this. There's a lot of value to these companies. Like, I'm gonna say this though. With all the stuff I've said, there's still a lot of value to these companies that it might not come across as easily when I'm talking about them with so much like seeming vitriol. And one of the really big ways to think about this is to realize that, like, the companies themselves validate us. They validate us, whether we want to admit that or not. They highly validate us. We as creators require them. I'm a freaking YouTuber. I require this useless platform. People watching me on YouTube immediately clicks. Everyone watching me on Twitch, I'm also on YouTube. YouTube.com/Webcomics Hub. And, like, you know, this platform validates my entire thing. When I sit down and I research for 6 months a single YouTube video. I research for 6 months a single YouTube video and I put it out. It validates my creative drive, right? I get to put it somewhere that people can see. And that's what Webtoon pretty much is. Even when you get that contract, even when you get that YouTube like verified badge, that's what it does. It's just added validation to your creative process. But you should never look at that as endgame. If YouTube gave me a YouTube Red series today, that's not my goddamn endgame. Like, not ever, not on God, not in life, right? Really interesting take from Semi. My end game is someone making a wiki about one of my series along with a TV tropes page. Yes, that's a meaningful end game. That's a really good end game to have. And I think we should all kind of have our own little end games, but you should have an end game beyond end game, right? You should have like end game 2, Electric Boogaloo. Your second end game should be the point at which you're going, all right, I got first end game, what's next? Like, when I was still bothering to write comics, which I still do, I just don't do as much because I have to do this garbage. When I was still bothering to write comics actively, my end game was to be recognized by one of my childhood heroes, who is Scott McCloud. I've always liked Scott McCloud, but like he's a pretty big hero for me in terms of as a comic creator. He's not my childhood hero, that was a joke, but he's a really big creator influencer for me, and you know, that's end game for me, right? That's somebody I really think is important, recognizing me. That's my kind of end game. When you're seeing these contracts, like, remember, they're not where you want to go. There's like a million different paths. If you're wondering what kind of paths there are to getting to that end game, especially as a comic creator, let's talk about a few of them. You know, we know the obvious webcomics one, right? Depending on what country you live in, especially if you live in America, and for anyone who doesn't live in America, I'm sorry. I'm about to say this. Although I think South America too has a really big bustling scene, but there are bustling, meaningfully impactful scenes of indie comic creators who still make pen and paper comics, like screen tones and everything, like freaking nerds, right? They still make them. They work together to print their own stuff. They exist. They're probably in your town. And then they might be a little bit pretentious, but like they're still worth working with. They are a path to a different aspect of comics that we don't really talk about a lot. If you know I almost said webcomic. If you know the comic Mouse, Maus, one of my favorite comics ever. The creator of Mouse didn't make it as a comic creator by just making comics in some magazine. The creator of Mouse made it as a comic creator by making connections in the underground indie scene and kind of getting noticed until he finally got a publisher and then picked a story idea that, you know, really struck a chord with people. And that's a path that you can take. And I think the best part is the indie comic scene is a lot more forgiving, and also fewer people see it when you fuck up. So now we're at like $3 to the charity thing. Every time I swear, I give money to the charity. I put money in a pot to give to a creator as a random donation. But yeah, like, you know, every time you mess up, fewer people will see it because it's just a bunch of indie comic nerds. So, you know, that's a path that you can take. And it's not the easiest one, but neither is this online publishing stuff. Who is messaging me? Neither is this online publishing stuff, right? Another path that you could easily take is doing a Snail Lords, right? You could easily do a Snail Lords. You could. I'm not gonna even say this one. No, that one sounds meaner than it is, and I don't want to say that because it's not mean at all. But it's just I can't word it any better. I think better way to say it would be you could easily join a circle. You could make a circle. One of the things that I had to learn as a YouTube creator and a comic creator at the same time is that like peers are so important. Peers are disturbingly important. And I don't mean peers who are like popular. Screw that crap. Your popular peers are you might have popular peers, but your peers don't need to be popular to be meaningful, right? Having any number of peers at all is important because whenever you learn anything, they learn it too. And you guys do the brain mesh together. You got to build that comic studio, kids. You got to build your digital comic studio. Kidnap some friends, put them in a room, tell them that you're never going to let them leave ever again. And they have to keep being friends with you till they die. Ask Suya. I did that. I even tagged him with one of my hoodies. We used to have merch. It was just for me though. But you know, kidnap a friend, put him in a box, keep him around forever, right? That like you need to get a few more. Because every time you learn something, they'll learn something else. You guys are gonna put your brains together. It's gonna be essentially the effect of like, it's gonna be 3 years of work done in a year by 3 different people, right? That's what it's going to be. Kidnapping is bad. Kidnapping is good. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. I need to hire a PR team, but if I did, all they would do is complain constantly as I say things like that. You know, that's like, I think that's like one of the best paths you've currently got. And Tia makes a really good point. Tia is in chat, makes a great point that says, you know, I fear that social media is teaching people to shout into the void versus actually talking to people one-on-one. I feel like it's not social media, but I do feel like a lot of creators get so hung up in their whole like thing. We all do. You know, we all get hung up in our own thing. I make YouTube videos for fun and also somewhat a living. Like, I know I haven't uploaded a video in weeks or months. I think it's been 6 months. Guys, I've been working on one video this whole time. I'm not even kidding. If I had anyone else who edited the kind of stuff I edited, my job would be like a quarter. And it's so much easier now. Even then, even though I don't have those kinds of friends, I've got my friends who make comics. And they make my job a million times easier because they cut down a lot of my thinking, because they give me like a shortcut to knowledge that takes me so long to get to. Yeah, like, you know, that's so like for me, that's like, you know, as I said, there's a lot of different paths you can go. I want to be mind you guys something. Making it big, as in like making it to a big creator company or making like Webtoon or Marvel or whatever, he's not going, even if you make it there, like, you know, they pay good money, don't get me wrong, take their money, take their goddamn money, take the money and run. Take as much money as you can, stuff your pockets with it, save enough money to go to Cancun and live there forever, but don't consider them as even being worth working for. These places, especially the bigger places, are staffed with just a bunch of old people, man. Like they were skilled in like the 70s. And don't get me wrong, they're still skilled and intelligent. But like these people, they just let these old people do anything they want, and then they make us like take the brunt of the work to make whatever they want. I think my favorite thing I think about is if you want to see what it's like to work in the new studio where there's one guy who can do whatever he wants because he's just been there so long, look up Batman Odyssey by Neil Adams. Neil Adams is like a comic powerhouse. If you don't know traditional comics history, he's the reason why he's one of the main reasons why traditional comic artists get paid well. Like, you know, he's like a big pro-union, like I wouldn't say pro-union, but pro-union-ish guy for comic creators. And that's really meaningful for our industry, right? But he also made Batman Odyssey because his prestige and success allowed him zero oversight. And in all these bigger companies, there will be a guy like him. Not exactly like him, but somebody like him with a lot of prestige and success or a lot of power that you don't have, who will make you do something you don't want to do and won't enjoy doing. The big companies will feel like you've made it until you meet that person and you'll realize, really ain't it, chief. I started with no straight. Are you guys talking about making your own comics? I'm looking at here all the chapter discussion. Jesus. Everyone really having a whole make your new comic now. Okay, cool. I had like a whole bunch of things I want to talk about compromises, but we're getting closer and closer to the point where I need to do the conversation around the news I have about a lawsuit. But let's cover one more thing in my list. We were talking a lot about success factors, making it, getting yourself out there, different paths to success. But one of the things I really want to talk about is when you don't have the success yet, which I think is pretty meaningful. When you don't have the success yet, I see a lot of creators very scared. No, that's not scared, not the word. I see a lot of creators very annoyingly, especially very new creators or small creators, very annoyingly complain a lot about their viewership numbers and their readership numbers and stuff like that. I complain about how they're not getting pushed enough and things. I'm going to be real, Chief. You're probably not selling yourself very well. At all. I did last week, because I was getting ready for this podcast episode, I decided to do like a really quick sweep of Twitter to look at lots of different creator posts. Just see like how people update about the new chapters they have and stuff like that. There's a feature creator I know who does not even update about the chapter that he releases unless somebody does it for him. But like other than that one useless individual, a lot of creators just don't like push their content out there for people to know that it even exists. I remember the other day somebody asked me, where do I post my comic so that people can see it, right? Where do I post my comic so that people can see, so people can experience it, so that people can find me? Because Webtoon just isn't getting me anywhere, or Tapas isn't getting me anywhere, which Tapas isn't going to get you anywhere, by the way. Just give up on that. But Webtoon isn't getting me anywhere. And like one of the answers to that is to have your circle of artists. Have your circle of artists, and they will promote your stuff when you make it. But also you can grow organically a very dedicated small group of fans. And if that makes you happy, that's good enough. You don't need the biggest number of viewers in the world to be making it. For a lot of people though, if you want some bigger audiences, there are places to go. Like there are forums, there's Reddit, there's Twitter, there's understanding how to take advantage of trends to promote your own content. When I want to promote myself, I have the circle. I have built a really good circle, right? I don't have to worry about promoting myself without anyone because I have a circle now. So even if I'm lackluster or I'm not interesting, my circle will support me, right? But like when you don't have a circle, a lot of what you can do revolves around making yourself known in communities that are relevant to what you make, putting your stuff out there and getting feedback from it, but also like being willing to give a meaningful feedback, especially when you're starting. It's basically you need to make yourself a sociable, likable person to other people in a similar position like you. That's really it when you're starting out. You need to make yourself lovable, you need to make your, or at least tolerable. I am not a very likable person, so if I can do it, you can do it. You need to at least make yourself tolerable by most people, right? And if you can do that, if you can do that, you will get a small group of people who also work in the same fields as you, who are willing to look at your work, read it, experience it, things like that. And then you should also, of course, send it to your friends, family, put it in your portfolio whenever you're applying for a job. It's just trying to get that one extra reader who really likes what you do and will tell their friends about it. Another really good thing you can do for pushing your content out there is to ask your viewers to share it. Creators don't do this enough, but like YouTube did a really good study. And I'm using YouTube study because YouTube is the king of online content, whether you agree with them or not. Even if you think you're not related, you are, because they control a lot of the algorithms that get you pushed around. And YouTube and Google, YouTube basically once had a creator meeting. Once had like a creator, they have a lot of creator like summits where creators go meet each other, but also meet other YouTube people, and they give you advice on pushing your content and getting to use the algorithm better and stuff if you're like new. And one of the things they tell you a lot is ask people to share your content. Ask people to like, share, and subscribe. They'll do it. They really will do it. People will do it. And you might think it's tacky and gross, but you need that interaction from them to continue to grow. And they respect you and like you. And you respect them, and you respect them and like the people reading your work. So they will most likely get that done. Somebody's saying, I don't know how to find a circle, but I want to be in one. You want to find a circle? I don't know, make a friend. Collabs are a good way to make friends, although I would always recommend don't do a collab that you don't believe in. If somebody puts you in like an 8-person collab or something, and like out of the 8 people in the collab, 3 or 4 just aren't art styles you want associated with yours, or don't draw things you want associated with yours. And by associated, it can be really as shallow as, I just don't think they're as good as me. Like it can be as shallow as that, right? If you join a collab and you see those kinds of people, don't join. Don't engage with that. But if you see people in there you like, DM them. DM them and read their actual comics. See the thing that they've sunk their lives into, much like you have. Read it, learn from it, DM them and be like, hey, I just started reading your thing. I think it's really cool. I enjoyed this and that, That's all you need. That's all you need. And maybe you'll make really good friends with them. Maybe you won't. But that's how you find your circles. I found my circle found me. I didn't find my circle. So, good for them, right? But yeah, that's in my opinion, those are all the different ways I've used to kind of market myself and help other people market themselves. Because and those ways work. They work for quite a while. I've made some of my best friends by just randomly being DM'd by other creators who like my work. Yeah, like Sia, that's how we made friends. That's how Sia and I made friends. Pretty much. Just people will respect you and appreciate you if you DM them and you're just like, hey, I really like what you make. Don't DM everyone. Don't be weird. Don't be creepy. Don't do anything strange. But it's a method, right? If you play video games, it's another great way to meet people. You know, if you're in, like, it's a great way to meet people. If you play video games, you'll meet lots of people, and at least some of them would be artists, or at least friendly enough to to share your stuff. But I am creepy. That is a response. How do I make quality content? That question is banned. That question is banned from this community, please and thank you. Yeah, you don't even need to DM them. You can just share their work. There's a person who shared one of my videos on their YouTube channel once, and God, I wish I had actually DM'd them on Twitter. I wanted to, and I was too much of a coward. But like, they got me like 1,000 viewers overnight, which for me is a lot, you know. But like, yeah, dude, like it does. If just reaching out, being nice, being cool, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do to get you to start building your little circle. And maybe they all like each other. Maybe they don't like each other. It's fine. Your circle is mainly revolving around you. They might get along with each other too, which is incredibly great because that's what you want. And they might also revolve around just you exclusively and not really speak to each other. That's also pretty good. Like, don't think too hard about that. Like, don't worry about how that works. I just hit the cable. I apologize. Yeah, it just needs to be genuine. People can tell when you're showing up with ulterior motives. Please, I swear to God, do not DM someone with "read my comic," please. I'm begging you. If you know somebody who does this, send them this clip. Send them what I'm about to say. I'm about to say it, so get ready to clip it. All right? If you DM somebody, "read my comic," please, right? You're trash. You're a terrible person. You're annoying. You're a not fun person to talk to. And I don't even think you're interesting enough to learn about, because if you're DMing me to read your comic like that, you're probably not making interesting enough work for me to actually care about reading. Like, you're probably not even interesting enough to read or talk to. You ain't got shit. I'm sorry. Nen, will you read my comic? No, I won't read your comic, Bobbler. It's a 2 out of 10. I bet. Mic drop. Drop them. Oh, what time is it now? Oh, we're getting closer to the time. All right, we've talked about other stuff. I want to give you the update because, guys, I'm going to be real with you. It is 1 a.m. my time. And, sleep is calling. It's 2 a.m. my time. Sleep is calling. So let's get to the end of this. So 2 out of 10 is better than 1 out of 10. It's just so much stress to read. So hello. I want to talk to you guys about a little thing I found out. So you guys know this company, Webtoon? Y'all know Webtoon? I don't know if any of you actually heard of another company that's related to Webtoon called Rocket Ship Entertainment. Rocket Ship Entertainment is run by a former head of content at Webtoon. It's not a complicated story I'm going to be telling you. And currently, Rocket Ship Entertainment and Webtoon are in a little bit of a legal kerfuffle, if you will. They're in a bit of a legal kerfuffle because they're fighting over the rights to a Webtoon, a specific featured Webtoon. And I think this is very funny. Rocket Ship Entertainment. And I think it's very funny. I think it's very funny for like 2 or 3 reasons. But the main one that has got me interested in what's going on with them is basically okay. Look, I didn't want to tell you guys this. I think, but like it's just too stupid. The current lawsuit revolves around somebody not reading a contract, somebody signing that contract, and then essentially tying up their rights in a terrible legal situation. I don't want to say more than that because I can't give away more because there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information that I can't give you just to be safe for lots of little reasons. One, I don't have all the information yet to be sure that any of this is 100% true, but I have read enough legal documents to tell me that I'm pretty close to the truth. You know, there's some interesting information in there. One of them being there's some interesting information in there. One of them being that, you know, I saw allegedly somebody was made to cry in the Webtoon office. I also saw that allegedly one of the individuals involved I've also heard allegedly that one of the individuals involved in the lawsuit is a questionable person. But again, none of this stuff is like confirmed because a lot of the stuff I'm reading and hearing, even in the case, are hearsay. And I'm bringing it up mostly because, like, if you're aware of these individuals, that would be a great time to like help me get them to tell me what I want to know, because I don't want to. I'm still working on a video on this. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm working on a video on this. It's taking me a long time because I like to get all the information correct. And, you know, I've just been both kind of seriously reading the information and, like, you know, casually acquiring documents here and there through lots of different means. And I don't want to paint them as like, I don't want to paint the wrong person as bad or I don't want to paint anyone as bad yet because it doesn't seem like anyone's been bad. Everyone's just been a little bit dumb. Like I've read all the documents and there's some really funny stuff in there, but like, it's just kind of stupid. If you know me, you already know a lot about the case. If you know me personally, you probably know a little bit about the case. I've probably DM'd you one or two things and just laughed. And that's it. But I'm not, you know, I'm still keeping a lot of documents close to my chest. I'm being very careful because there's somebody I know who's giving me a lot of like, don't say this, don't say that, things. Yeah, but you know, I've not read every single document. I've read a lot of documents, but not every single document. Just gonna say that real quick. But yeah, you know, I'm trying to make sure. I just try to tell you guys a little bit of tea that I'm aware of, but I'm having to be a little bit vague because if I tell you exactly what the tea is about, joke's not tea, but if I tell you exactly what the information's about, I might get in trouble, and I'm not ready to get in trouble yet. I want to get in trouble when I have everything, and then it'll be funnier. So, you know, if you're wondering what my next video is about, that's what it's been about. That and like I'm making a short on sideways panels, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Making a terrible short. Rat Pack. Oh my God. Jesus. But I think what's interesting about it in general, I'm going to jail for you. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to take the blame. I think what is interesting about the entire debacle, though, the entire kerfuffle, the entire what's the word? Hubbub. The entire hubbub is that it tells me a little bit about how Webtoon internally operates when a creator is in this kind of trouble. Hopefully it's a consistent behavior. They seem to be very protective of their creators to some extent, and hopefully that's consistent, although I don't know how consistent that behavior is. But it also tells me a little bit about, it also tells me a little bit about the current webcomics to print market. right now, if you guys don't understand this or don't know this, a lot of webcomic creators want their work to be print, want their work to be physical. You know, I have a physical copy of a webcomic right here. It's a one that I don't even like. I've also got a good physical copy of a webcomic. It's what I call the Bible. It's Mount Draco. You should read Mount Draco on Webtoon by Momo GG Radar. And, you know, a lot of creators want to get their stuff printed, and I get it. I get it. You know, having the thing in your hands is a whole different feeling, right? It's a whole different feeling. And there's only a handful of people that want to deal with a webcomic creator's work when it's not been unless they've gone through the trouble of reformatting and of reformatting and like reorganizing your comic. Sorry, I'm like keep getting DMs. Reorganizing your comic. So very few actual publishers want to deal with that. Very few actual printers, want to deal with that. But there's a handful that will, and that handful is kind of staffed. It's kind of controlled by one company, and the messaging I'm hearing around this one company is a little bit like, you know, let's just say it's not always good, but it's not always bad. So it's a little bit worrying when you have to tell your friends to work with them or something. When you want to tell your friends to work with them or something, because you know, like they're probably the only route for your friends to get their work printed, but you're also a little bit worried about like who you're sending them to. I'm one of the few people who wants to read a physical copy of the comics I read. I don't think you're as few in number as you think you are. I only have physical comics of horrible booster gold comics I keep finding on road trips. I respect that. I recently just bought the entirety of Spider-Man Blue, which is just a story about how MJ is happy without Peter or something. I don't know what the story's about. I like the covers. I have a physical copy of Space Boy. I do enjoy a physical copy of Space Boy. If you're looking to print your webcomic, I want to admit this right now. There was no big point here, but if you're looking to print your webcomic, just be a little bit careful about who you go to. Make sure you research them properly. Make sure you look them up right. Make sure you talk to people just in case, just so you don't put yourself in the hands of someone you don't want to be in the hands of. That's really it. I'm not here to pass judgment on any of them. I promise you, when I know more information, I'll say something. But I don't have all the tea. I don't have all the tea. And make sure you read your goddamn contracts. I swear to God, if you stupid Webtoon creators do not read your fucking contracts, like absolutely irritated with you. Too many Webtoon creators walk around brain dead, 0 brain cells activated, not reading contracts, not doing what they're supposed to do, doing the basic due diligence. I swear to God, stop. Or I will stop you myself. God. Yeah. A lot of times you see Webtoon creators vague tweeting about reading contracts. It tells you how few of them have the reading comprehension skills that are required to make sure that they're safe. Jesus Christ. God. Y'all are killing me. I cannot keep reading about you people signing terrible contracts. Do it for me. For my blood pressure. Please. Like, if you don't know how to read your contract, ask your friend. Ask me. I will read your contract for you. Like, just, I'm begging you. Oh, Jesus Christ. I cannot see another stupid vague tweet from Graveweaver or whatever about reading a contract, because I know that they're saying it. They're saying it for the betterment of everyone. So I'm not like mad at what they're saying. It's just more like the need to say that indicates a bigger problem that we're not dealing with. Like, please, let's do better for ourselves. I'm begging you. I'm begging you on God. on Jesus. Don't send me your contract though. Like, I actually can't legally read that for you. Get a dictionary and get to reading. I actually can't legally read your contract for you, but you should read your contract with your friends. Read it with other people. Make sure the interpretations that it tells you are things you understand. Like, that's kind of obvious. That's kind of obvious, but yeah. All right, cool. Get a lawyer. Find a lawyer friend. Does everyone have a lawyer friend? Make them read it. Does every single person have become a lawyer and get the qualifications necessary? Okay. All right. That's kind of me today. It's like 2 a.m. and I want to end my podcast. It's just been me. I'm kind of exhausted. No audio stinger today, no crazy stuff. But it is season 2, everyone. Season 2! Webcomics Hub season 2. Webcomics Hubcast season 2. Thank you very much for coming in today. I got a lot of very angry DMs from the person who's been telling me to say very little about the lawsuit thing. So, you know, I gotta read those. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming today. I'm sorry that I haven't made any new content in a long time. I've just honestly been very busy. I'm a teacher. I have a new teaching job. It's been kind of busy. And organizing a time with Kaz hasn't been great. So that's taken a long time. You know, we were both very busy right now. But hopefully I can come back, you know, more often, do more of these. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Thank you guys so much for being on here, being alive. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to subscribe on the YouTube, youtube.com/webcomicshub. Make sure to, you know, follow on Twitch, follow on Twitter. You know, tweet at me with your favorite comics whenever you want. I don't really care. I'll read it. I read most things. You know, yeah, I am looking forward to season 2, and I'm looking forward to more webcomics shenanigans with all of you. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to sleep. Bye. Oh wait, give me money on Patreon. Yes, that was the last thing I wanted to say. Thank you. Okay, bye.